Hello, we are the Refugee Council of Egypt. My name is Layla Yu. I am the leader, and I will be covering global diversity and ethnicity.
My name is Yu, and I'm a researcher, and I'm covering the economic development.
My name is Mitchell Jones. I'm a researcher, and I'm covering the security aspect.
Hi, I'm Mynhan, and I'm the assistant leader, and I'm covering health.
Hi, I'm Klein. I'm a researcher, and I'll be covering NGOs, IGOs, and outside state actors.
Hi, I'm Brandon Labbe. I'll be covering states and internal government.
Hello, my name is Layla Yu. I am the leader of the Refugee Council of Egypt, and I will be discussing global diversity and ethnicity. So Egypt is located in northeastern Africa. It borders Libya, Sudan, the Gaza Strip, and Israel. The official language of Egypt is Arabic. English and French are also commonly known in the higher classes, mostly, of course, the more educational. So 98% of the total population in Egypt is Egyptian, and the other 2% consists of Bedouin, Nubian, Beha, and Europeans. The Bedouin population is actually a pretty interesting part of Egyptian culture. They're Arab clans, and they basically inhabit the Sinai Peninsula of the eastern deserts. Regarding religion, over 90% of the nation's population belongs to the Sunni sect of Islam, so it is a very religious country. 9% belong to the Coptic Orthodox Church of Alexandria, and 1% include Shiite Muslims, Orthodox Christians, or they belong to the Baha'i faith. So the Egyptian constitution provides freedom of belief for all its people, but of course it is definitely very restricted because the government does rely on Islam faith, and basically the way that they govern their people is very on a religious basis. Regarding human rights and equality, in 2012, Egypt was ranked 126 out of 135 countries in gender inequality. So they're not that equal, I would say, of course. And this was released by the World Economic Forum. So overall, Egypt is a very unique country, influenced by its special geographical location. Above you have the Mediterranean, and below you have Africa.
Klein. I'm a researcher with the Refugee Council of Egypt. I'm going to talk about how Egypt's influences by the NGOs, IGOs, and the non-state actors have influenced it over the years. Egypt has always been under the influence of outside forces. It houses the Suez Canal, which was and still is a major player in global trade. It was built under the rule and finance of the British Empire. Although Egypt was unoccupied from the Commonwealth in 1936, they still kept the rights to the canal. Eventually, in 1954, Prime Minister / President Gamal Nasser was able to expel the British rule from the canal and able to fund it continually with the help of the Soviet Union. In response to this, this prompted war with the allied nation of Israel. Eventually, in 1956, Egypt and Syria actually formed an alliance / state called the United Arab Republic. It was only due to an attempted coup in Syria that this relationship was ended in 1961. During the 90s, Egypt worked hard to rid terrorism from their state. Within a few years, they were able to capture approximately 20,000 Islamic militants and prosecute them. More recently, the protests and revolutions, paired with the removal of sentencing of Hosni Mubarak, prompted new foreign policy decisions to be made, both by the nation itself and individual actors on the global perspective. Due to the imposed martial law by the current military government, the U.S. is pulling back aid, which was originally set at $2 billion per year after its financing due to the peace treaty between Israel and Egypt. That aid was now pushed down to approximately $150 million. Most of it still goes to military aid. Also, the United Nations Development Program has supported Egypt with many different programs, ranging from eradication of extreme poverty and hunger, achieving primary education, and combating HIV, AIDS, malaria. Also, Egypt is an active member with the World Trade Organization and the G24, both that make and form international economic policies. They're actually also a member of the African Union and Arab League, which are more regional organizations that deal with social values. Although they're not a member of OPEC, they are a member of the Organization of Arab Petroleum Exporting Countries. And due to the recent influx of refugees, approximately 126,000 by the UN estimates, but also 250,000 to 300,000 by the Egyptian estimates, we see many foreign aids coming in, coming from mostly UN programs and also NGOs. Many contributors have been providing major relief from monetary aid to specialists and materials to assist life for the refugees within the state. These donors come from everywhere from the European Union, the Ford Foundation, the United States Agency for International Development, and also many separate European governments.
Hi, my name is Brandon Labbe. I'm a student researcher for the Refugee Council of Egypt, and I will be talking about the internal government of Egypt. As recently as 4 months ago, our report on the state of Egypt would have been completely different. Up until June, Egypt had been a democracy, established in 2011 after the ousting of President Hosni Mubarak. Reminiscent of that time, but in a completely different fashion, President Mohamed Morsi had been ousted in June. Unlike the People's Revolution of 2011, however, this ousting was organized by the military, but not to the discontent of the entire population. There was not technically a new government, as the constitution has been suspended by the military, not abolished. Shortly after this change of power, the new Prime Minister, Hazem el-Biblawi, announced that the government focus would be on social and economic issues. New heads of ministries were more reflective of Egypt's changing demographics. In stark contrast to such a positive tone, the crackdown on Morsi supporters and the Muslim Brotherhood is becoming increasingly dangerous, as well as detrimental to the freedom of civilians. A state of emergency was declared on August 14 after 42 police were killed in a confrontation with protesters who supported the ousted President Morsi. Over 230 protesters were killed in the same confrontation. In the state of emergency, even government supporters are being punished by new curfew laws. The government has been using refugees, along with Morsi supporters and Muslim Brotherhood affiliates, as political devices to draw public discontent away from their self.
Hello, my name is Kawashima, and I'm going to talk about economic development of Egypt. So last year, 2012, GDP in Egypt was 257.3 billion, and income level was placed at lower middle income. And it has 83 million people, and the population is getting larger and larger rapidly. However, basically, economic of Egypt is in a really difficult situation right now. So let me focus on the GDP growth first. From 2001 to 2008, real GDP growth had been increasing. In 2001, it was 3.5%, and it reached 7.2% in 2008. However, after 2009, real GDP growth started to decrease dramatically. So last year, it was only 1.5%. As the economic situation became worse, some problems arise at the same time. For example, unemployment rate gets higher, which is a trigger of a security deterioration. And lack of jobs affect on both Egyptian people and refugees, including Syrian people. Both people struggle with earning enough money, but this economic crisis steals jobs, especially from Egyptian people, because Egyptian shop owners learn to hire refugees instead of them to save the labor cost. And next, GNI, gross national income per capita, is $3,000 in current US dollars, and it is 1/6 compared with United States one. Moreover, because of the economic crisis, the number of poverty count ratio has been increasing, so about a quarter of people are labeled as poor in 2011. In this way, economic crisis in Egypt affect in very various ways, and it's really a serious problem right now.
Klein, and I'm the assistant leader for Refugee Council of Egypt. Egypt's a low and middle income country with a sluggish economy. According to Global Health and Diplomacy, as a developing country with vast human resources and rapidly growing economy, reforming Egypt's healthcare sector is a top priority for the national social development. Egypt's health indicators improved significantly since 1960. They have national program to combat TB and developing programs for prevention and control of hepatitis B and C and snow fever. There is, according to World Health Organization, which is WHO, responsible for providing leadership on global health matters, shaping research, health agenda, setting norms and standards. Egypt has a total population of 83 million people with a gross income of 6,120, with the life expectancy at birth for male versus female, which is 75 versus 75. And probability of dying under 5 per 1,000 live births is 21, compared to the United States of America is 7. Probability of dying between 15 and 60 years old, male versus female per 1,000 population is male 141 and female 85. Total expenditure on health per capita is 310. Total expenditure on health as percentage as GDP 4.9, compared to the United States of America is 17.9. Contagious diseases are controlled in Egypt. However, non-contagious diseases such as psychotic diseases are on the rise. According to WHO, World Health Organization, Egypt's summary births attended by skilled health personnel was only gathered information only in 2008. The data was not consistent and missing cases. Egypt has been a country that's been polio-free since 2006. There has been iron deficiency, anemia is prevalent, and malnutrition is common for children under 5, particularly in upper rural Egypt. And there's many opportunities existence for primary healthcare network primarily easily accessible, with 90% of the population within 5 kilometers of the facility. The challenges of Egypt facing is financing the providers, like underfunding and rising costs, overemployment in public sector with low motivation.
Hi, my name is Mitchell Jones. I'm a researcher for the Refugee Council of Egypt, and I'm going to be talking about security. Since the Egyptian revolution back in 2011, tensions have been escalating quite quickly. The Egyptians ousted Mubarak's military regime in favor of a president-elect, Mohamed Morsi. In a turn of events, the Syrians were used as a political pawn when Morsi voiced his opposition of the Syrian regime alongside many Sunni Islamists who wanted a holy war in Syria. The Egyptian media then painted all Syrians as allies of Morsi, and many TV personalities began to personally voice their hatred of Syrians in Egypt. Because of overwhelming opposition of Morsi's presidency, he was ousted this summer and was replaced by military rule. Now it seems as though Egypt is turning back to the military regime that it once adamantly protested against, all while Syrians are being discriminated, arrested, and deported just because they are thought to be allies of Morsi. The new military regime has also begun to tighten its border security from immigration and has started to require pre-approved visas and security clearances for all Syrians seeking entry into Egypt. Keep in mind that Egypt was never required pre-approved visas of this nature in the past. These recent actions not only prove that Egyptian viewpoints have been changing since the revolution, but that the leading political power is beginning to revert back to the Mubarak days of oppression and military rule.
2, 3.
Thanks for watching!